Another team that I thought was had an interesting night, and that was the Phoenix Suns, who have had an interesting couple of years. They continue to bumfuzzle me at times with some of their moves. So at the 10th overall pick, the Suns select from Duke, Kaman Maluach. Good player. Picked up basketball pretty late, so he's just kind of coming into the game. Had a good year last year at Duke. People like his tools, his potential to continue to grow. Around the exact same time, they do a deal to get Mark Williams, the center out of Charlotte. So now, and they give up a 2029 first-round pick to get Mark Williams. So now they have Mark Williams, they have Maluach, they have Nick Richards, who I think is still there, and I'm blanking on the. I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but they have one more big man that's in that mix.
Remember when Phoenix had like 8 point guards?
When did centers become like this thing again? Like when did like pivots even like I was watching a little bit of the ABC draft coverage, and Bob Myers, who is loath to criticize anybody in those situations, Bob is very positive all the time. Even Bob was like, like centers who are the easiest guys in the league to play off the floor, right? Like we've seen it happen over and over again in the postseason. Like even like in the championship team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Isaiah Hartenstein did not start for the first few games of the NBA Finals because the Thunder want to play down. You're going to grab 2 of them who both have questions around them. Like Maluach is such an impressive kid to like show up at an NBA academy in Africa and turn into what he's turned into. Similar with like VJ Edgecombe, I'm not sold on the story. Like the story doesn't do a lot for me when I'm talking about using a top 10 pick.
Cold heart.
It's a top 10 pick. I'm talking about a top 10 pick, Rachel.
Cold.
Like you're using a top 10 pick
Cold.
on Maluach. I don't know what his offensive ceiling is. I think he can be a good defender. I don't know what his offensive ceiling is going to be. Mark Williams put up numbers with Charlotte, but something was going on with him physically that made the Lakers, who were desperate for a player, the ilk of Mark Williams, to veto the trade, to rescind the trade for Mark Williams. So now you've got the Suns. I wrote this in SI.com. The Suns' perception of what they are. Like, you put the Suns' perception of what they are right here.
Oh, it's very different from the reality.
It's very different from what they are. Like, in the Suns' mind.
Wait, move your hands, because they're not. Right now, for people who aren't watching on YouTube, Chris's hands were right next to each other, and they should not be.
They're not, yeah. Like, all right, we'll make a bigger gap. Spread your hands out wide. The Suns believe that they add Mark Williams and Maluach to a team with Jalen Green, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, and whatever stuff they have there, Grayson Allen, that they're a playoff contender next year. We just did this thought experiment with the Pelicans as a playoff team next year. Do you have the Phoenix Suns in your playoff field
Are
next
you
year?
playing point guard for the...
No.
Because that's another big question I have. Again, I made the joke because it was, I got this point. Isaiah Thomas is who I'm talking about, and that glut of point guards. So it was, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
But that's the team that stacked up on 3 starters at the same position. And now here we are again having this conversation. And, I do think big men have sort of revived at being, more valuable in the NBA stratosphere, but you cannot just sort of throw them out on the floor the way you can with wing and backcourt players and say, you guys will figure out how to play together. It does not make sense. And Mark Williams, there's got to be something going on there because Charlotte has been trying to get rid of him. We now know for 6 to 8 months.
Yes.
Actively.
Injury issues have plagued him. And the Hornets, who by the way, the Hornets are like this fun, springy team. LaMelo, Brandon Miller, you add Con Knipple to that mix. Like, theoretically, you've got your outside shooter. What you need now is kind of that shot-blocking big man that Mark Williams would seem to be. But the Hornets have done everything in their power to get away from this guy, to move him, and to not be in a position to pay him.
Now, I did read a couple places on the internet, people talking about the Suns getting the Lakers sloppy seconds, and that's not right. We should not be talking about him that way. But I do. Look, again, wish him the best, hopefully. I felt it was rough what happened with that Lakers trade, because regardless of whether it was his physical fault or whether it was Charlotte's fault or whether it was the Lakers' fault for having a change of heart, you get kind of just sort of marked when the team says they don't want you back. So I hope he's somewhere, and clearly Charlotte has continued to try to get rid of him. So I hope for his sake he's somewhere where he flourishes, but it is, again, a perplexing move from the Phoenix Suns.
But Maluach, like this, I keep going back to Maluach here. and I wrote this, like I had heard immediately after they made that pick, they were dangling him in trades to other teams so that they were looking to maybe move off him. Like they're trying, again, this goes back to the perception versus the reality. Like they're trying to be a winner. Like everything that Matt Ishbia says, we're going to build a winner around Devin Booker. We're going to win a championship with Devin Booker. I've said this to you and I've said to many other people. There is a 0.0% chance that Devin Booker wins a championship in Phoenix. Not that Devin Booker won't win a championship. Great player, probably will. But it will not be with the Phoenix Suns. Now you draft a player in Malawach who is both young and has not been playing basketball for more than, 5 years. It's going to take him time to reach whatever potential that he's ultimately going to get to. I don't get it. I don't get what the thinking is in Phoenix. I don't get what the strategy is in Phoenix. I don't know Brian Gregory at all. Not vastly experienced in the general manager position. They've got a young head coach. Obviously, Jordan Ott's got a lot going for him. Was on that Kenny Atkinson staff. I have said it many times. I love when these kind of coaches get these type of opportunities. But they are a team that on Monday is acting like it is preparing to rebuild. And then Friday, acting like it's preparing to compete for a championship. That makes no sense to me.
New owner syndrome. New owner syndrome.
It's been like 3 years now, though.
He's clearly still got it.
He's still got it.
I'm just saying. And look, Malawach, I hope also turns out to be great because his story is inspiring. Thank you very much, heartless Chris Mannix. But
inspiring doesn't
I do always wonder when you play with a player the caliber that Cooper Flagg is supposed to be, how much is he making everyone on that Duke team?
How many first-round picks they have? They had 2 top 4 picks there.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Is that I'm curious to see him in a Cooper Flaggless universe, and what kind of player he is then.